walk into the room, I'm like, geez, everybody's here. It's Dumi, it's Ariel, it's Ntutuzo, it's Mandla, it's Mthunzi, it's Shabaka.
Springboks of jazz?
Yeah, it's not a good month to bring up the Springboks. It's not a... Only bring up the Springboks if you're a married man right now. You have to, while you talk, you have to hold your wife. Show people y'all are serious.
Welcome to the Know It Alls podcast with your favorite pop culture nerds. I am Ayanda Charlie.
I am Fezi Mthembu.
Welcome to the Know It Alls podcast. My name is Siyabonga Mthembu. I am one of your favorite popular culture nerds. Today, we are so excited. We have Siyabonga Mthembu in the house.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going?
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
Yeah.
Well, we don't tell people when we shoot, so maybe like suspend disbelief.
There's 4 Mondays. There's 4 Mondays in a month. So it'll take a lot of working out which Monday this was.
I feel like everyone who cares about culture in South Africa knows who you are. Yes?
Nah.
No?
No.
Cultural curator, Siyabonga Mthembu. Musician, Siyabonga
The
Mthembu.
nerds do.
Performance artist, Siyabonga Mthembu.
The nerds do, but not everyone.
Booker of bookers, Siyabonga Mthembu.
Cancel that last one.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good.
How is work? How is life? How is the world?
It's been a year of the work becoming more. So I'm learning how to not be exhausted.
The work becoming more.
Yeah, like it takes up a lot more of my
Sure,
time.
yeah.
I think I have less personality and more work. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful, but tiring.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And you do so many disparate things as well. Well, not disparate, but like in the broad sense of like cultural curator.
I was like desperate, yo. So many desperate things.
So many disparate.
School fees will do that to you.
No, that's real. That's so real. Okay. I don't know if you've watched our wonderful little show before.
I did.
But we have a games episode for you.
Okay.
Okay, and the games episode is structured so that we get to know a little bit more about you.
Okay, cool.
Okay, without having like the awkward linear conversation of like, hi.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay, so this game is called Sorry to This Man Gonjubanilo.
Whoa, slow that down, say that again.
Sorry to This Man Gonje Ubanilo.
Okay.
Okay, and all our kings and queens already know what's in store with this game. Okay. So I'm going to give you a bunch of clues.
Okay, cool.
And then you are going to try guess who that person is.
Okay.
And then just keep in mind that at some level, the clues or the people that I have listed here are related to your story in some way.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about who they are and what they...
Cool.
And how are they connected to you. Okay, so first clue. I was born in 1971. Okay, first clue. I was introduced to folk music folk music and the blues, mostly by my father, who was a chairman of a local club. Anything?
Muslim Shangla?
No?
71.
1971. Last clue?
Yeah.
I have performed with Siyabonga Mthembu.
Ah, jeez. Jeez, 71.
1971. That's what the internet said. I hope the internet's correct. No. My father, I think who's just turned 80, released his first...
Okay. I got it. Marcus Wyatt.
Marcus Wyatt. Tell me about Marcus Wyatt. Tell me why Marcus Wyatt would be in an interview about you.
Marcus and I do this amazing show called A South African Jazz Songbook.
Yes.
Actually, probably my biggest accolade as a performer. Performed at the Royal Albert Hall. A week before the Queen died.
Sure.
So we got to play her jazz.
Did you have something to do with that?
To play her jazz. Jazz send old Lizzie away, you know. But also I've done it with the Metropole Orchestra, which is probably one of the most amazing orchestras in the world. And then brought it home. But also, weirdly enough, Marcus is, when I was a kid wanting to be on stage and play music, Marcus was the guy who was on every stage. At Rocker, at 206, at the Baseline when I was too young to be inside.
Yeah.
And actually, the first time I met Marcus, we had gone to the Jam on 7th, and we weren't allowed in, so we went to Rocker. And Marcus was on stage at the last place, and at the next place to show up, I'm like, ask my friends, who's going to be playing here? And they're like, Marcus Wyatt. I'm like, oh, everywhere we go, it's Marcus Wyatt. Oh, can't stand this Marcus Wyatt. As I stand up, I hit chairs with the person behind me.
And it is Marcus.
And I turn around and it's Marcus Wyatt. Suckers tries and get blown like Marcus Wyatt.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit more about Jazz South African Songbook?
The Jazz South African Songbook, it happened first for Afro Vibes Festival, the festival that happens in the Netherlands.
Sure.
Marcus was actually forced to choose me. He told me for probably the first week while we were there that he thought I was a pop singer. And that,
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, he can't believe that I can sing. His words were, "You can belt, eh?" It was with great surprise. And to him, a compliment. Like, okay, well.
Like,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm just an adult walking around doing this thing I probably can't do. Thanks. So, the festival had wanted the Brother Muzan to come to Afro Vibes.
Okay.
So this was their halfway meeting point, was if at least they can get me to come and perform. And it was the first performance post-COVID.
Amazing.
So it took us like 5 hours to clear
Sure.
Tambo. And then we got to the other side, and it was for the first time when we arrived at a place where people weren't wearing masks.
Amazing. Well, I don't know if it's amazing, because I feel like we should still be wearing masks, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's not go there. It's Monday.
Stop telling people it's a bad day.
Hey,
Suspend disbelief.
Yeah, man, the Julian calendar is itself a suspension of disbelief. So, this depends which paradigm you're in.
Okay, cool. Amazing. I recently just watched you with Marcus Wyatt presenting that at the Linda Auditorium, and it was sensational. It was so incredible, so beautiful, so poignant. And also, like, I think part of what we were talking about for the interview I did with you at Mail and Guardian is that it just also transformed the space, because the Linda Auditorium is very, like, stuffy.
Feels like an Afrikaner church.
Yes. And then all of a sudden we have the capacity to really think through, like, the African musical archive and, like, pay fidelity to the kind of, like, thinking behind those things. So it just was, like, a really radical space as well. Like,
you see it in the faces of there's two faces that showed it the most. The one is in the face of the black orchestra member.
Yeah.
Who's every song just going, oh my God. Finally.
Thank you.
Jesus. Every time backstage, their thank yous got a little bit uncomfortable. It's just like, thank you so much. Thank you. Like, okay, great. And then the other side of it is like the white audience member who hates that you're there. Who's old.
Like, what are the blicks doing here?
Yeah, who's like, who made sure they came for this one to stare us down.
Yeah.
But you can see that while they're staring down.
But it's good. The music's good. But the music is nice.
They're tapping. So, like, that's a thing. It's the beauty of the music, is that, you don't have to explain much. Let the music play.
Yeah. Okay, so our next set of clues are, we are a jazz octet with this is so easy, with a British Caribbean saxophonist and some incredible South African musicians. Yes.
Question is it even an octet? But it's Shabaka and the ancestors.
Okay. The last clue was, our latest offering is a Pan-Africanist outing, says the internet, with African and
What is I live in Africa. What's a Pan-Africanist
That's
outing?
what the internet...
Going to like the Pan-African Congress.
I don't know, but that's what the internet said. And it said it has Afro-Caribbean traditions along with African Caribbean. Well, that's kind of tautology.
I love when they write about it, really. It just gives away the racism.
Tell me about Shabaka and the ancestors.
So I'm about to quit music.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I
Why?
got sick and tired of like the brother that moves on.
Oh, you are. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You're transporting us.
Yeah.
My bad.
Back then. Yeah, I'm always about to quit music, but it's okay. And Shabaka's like, why don't you just come for one song? I'm coming down to South Africa to record with some guys down there.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's recording? He says, Tumi Mokhros. I'm like, cool. Tumi's gonna be there. Rad. So I arrive, walk into the room, I'm like, geez, everybody's here. It's Tumi, it's Ariel, it's Ntutuzo, it's Mandla, it's Mthunzi, it's Shabaka.
Springboks of jazz.
Yeah, it's not a good month to bring up the Springboks. It's not a. Only bring up the Springboks if you're a married man right now. You have to, while you talk, you have to hold your wife. Show people y'all are serious.
We love you, Sia closely.
Shame, bro. Pussy. It must be hard going to a spa in South Africa right now.
Okay, tell me, you're about to quit music.
I'll quit music. I decided to go for this thing, and everybody's in the room. And we're playing, and Shabaka's got some music he's arranged. And it really becomes more fun than everyone expected it to be. So I expected to write 2 songs and leave, and I ended up like writing about 5 songs for that album. And then at the end of the thing, I'm like, what are you gonna call this, Shabs? He's like, Shabaka.
The Great Shabaka.
I'm like, hold up, Holmes.
So he was trying to do a Paul Simon.
Yeah, no, full on, bro. He's just like, yo, just Paul Simon and the Blacks. And Jesus Christ. It's like, what the hell? In 2017, bro. It's 2016. I was like, 2016 just gonna make us invisible.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, what should I call it? And I was like, what if we called it like Shabaka and the Ancestors, like Colin Mbili and the Prisoners of Strange. So you're not stuck with personnel, which is I know what everyone's afraid of with a band, and you can choose who you go with. And then came the difficulty of who goes on tour.
Yeah.
Lucky for us, Ntutuzo knew that he was about to become extremely famous. So he was like, no thanks.
Soz.
Yeah,
Soz about this.
Soz got my own gigs.
Soz.
Then it was a toss-up between Mandla and Mthunzi. I can never tell you why it went the way it went.
Yeah.
I wasn't part of that decision. So then the octet started touring, and it was intense. We had like 27 gigs on the road.
International gigs too.
Yeah, we'd do like 9 gigs in the US, fly from the US to the UK, be on stage 3 hours from a flight in the UK, do another 9 gigs, then come home, stay home for 3 weeks, then leave again for another.
God.
Yeah, it was like working on the ships.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Straight up. It was like call time at 4 a.m. every day.
Oh my God.
You finish your work day 11:30, and then you go out for that wine to show people that you're not really like boring. And then by the time you get to bed, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock.
And you're broken. Oh no.
Over and over again. And it's like, I promise you, one of my super skills is not sleeping anyway.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. So like, and that comes from there. It's just like, you just learned that if you had an hour.
Yeah, that's what you needed to do. Yeah.
It's weird because I judged the Blackjacks the first time they came back from New York. We were playing a gig with them, and Molefi walks to the corner, falls asleep on concrete floor. Bumi's gone to the car to go sleep, and another one's gone. And I was like, what's wrong with you guys? You're so famous, you can't hang out with people. So famous. And then years later, I was like, nope, that was just truly tired.
That's real. Yeah.
Being on the road can do that. It's not a dream. It's really not a dream.
Yeah.
Everyone makes it look good on the internet, but it's just... My sister said it best to me. You're a flight attendant, but you don't do beef or chicken in the sky. You sing when we get down there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, I think a lot of what we underestimate is how unglamorous a lot of creative work actually is. Yep. I was just on set and like also just trying to be like, so guys, can I have like 20 seconds where I just need to recalibrate, and like I'm sure it's gonna look good on the reel. I'm sure it will look good on the SABC, but like right now I need a second. And like that's like throughout. And I mean, I think about like I'm a writer predominantly. Writing is very unglamorous. you know?
Well, that's the thing. I think if you're in it for the glamour, and it's the work ethic you see in the best. Like you had Zoe on here before. And Zoe's work ethic is why Zoe is where she is. Like we watch Zoe do things and we're like, why are you playing guitar to the internet, man? What are you doing? And then years later, it was just like, this is just pure genius.
Yeah.
Like, she's been at it. And that's the thing, is that, you know, you see it when someone presses play. Zoe had to every day when she even didn't feel like it, switch on the internet, write a song, sing to people. You know? More props to that.
Yeah. Get your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, hey, they lied to you about that. When you hit that 10,000 hours, you realize, damn it, I'm just a slave. It's just 10,000 after 10,000 after 10,000.
After another 10,000, after another 10,000.
Nah, man.
That's crazy.
Work out how you're going to walk away.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep you going.
Sure. Work out how you're going to walk away.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
That's really what's going to keep you going. And it's also going to keep, like, reminding you why you came here.
Yeah.
That's important. It takes that away from you after a while. The tiredness, you just get tired of everything. And then people start to take it as an ungratefulness for the gift. And it's not that. It's just...
Yeah. You're also a human being. Like, you are well within your rights to be exhausted.
You also want to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Shabaka and the Ancestors. Amazing. Now... This one is like indirectly connected to you. This is through a conversation that we had recently. Okay. So we are an SA band that emerged as an Afrofusion ensemble in the 1980s. Okay. Speaking of Paul Simon, we worked on his Graceland and Rhythm of the Saints album. Do you know who I'm talking about? The last clue is just going to give it away. So let's see if you can...
Not Bernard Crew.
No. Maybe? Wait. Probably.
Right.
No. But you're close.
Is Hot Sticks in it?
No. I'm pretty sure not. Third clue?
All I'm thinking when you say Paul Simon is Bageti Kumalo, nothing else, yeah?
Zwagala and Stimela are some of our biggest hits.
Ray Perry and the Boys.
Tell me about the Kings from Stimela and why they could be connected to your story.
Why is Stimela to my story? The only Stimela I've done is like the Huma Skella one.
Sure, I'm aware. But the last time we were in conversation, again, for this article for Mail and Guardian, we were thinking about, like, defying genre, right?
Okay.
And thinking quite deeply about,
No. So that I get where the strand is. Also, though, my connection to Ray Perry is Nonko Perry. Shout out to Nonko Perry.
Nonko Perry!
But, like, all of that music, Stimela, Sankomota... Sakile, Harare, you could keep going. And most of the greats that we have now belong to some of those great bands as well. You couldn't classify them as jazz, but neither could you classify them as rock and roll. And it's kind of really helped me sort of define what we are, which is we're contemporary South African music. That is traditional music from the townships. And that's what that music was. It's like we don't make a genre of music. Yeah. We don't get together. And that's the weird thing that's happening now is that the kids are being forced down a panel ground of jazz or rock. And that's weird because it's like we never play music for that reason. Ours is it's made of everything. My dad had Pavarotti. Our parents, like the apartheid government came for our parents, but our parents had
some of the most cosmopolitan musical tastes in the world. Yep. I used to think about like my mom's vinyl collection, which my dad later appropriated.
As one does.
But it just was so extraordinarily like vast and so eclectic. And my mom's always like, why are you so eclectic? I'm like, duh, this is the kind of like household that I grew up in, you know?
My mom was a choir conductor. My dad was a jazz head and choir conductor because she was a teacher. So like music has never been I've had to not choose. I watched my daughter do the same thing, not choose my parents' music for a long time, only to realize that I had no choice. Yeah, and that's the thing is my parents' music wasn't genred. You know, my dad was a hippie. My mom was a hippie. You know, my mom didn't know she was a hippie, but my dad knew that he was a hippie. And that's the difference, is that it's always been about freedom. It's always been about not being tied. Yeah. It's always been about letting go. So even when the music gets too much, I'm like, let it go. Like, for how many years you went on stage and you lived all right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I also just was listening to, I think there's Dimela it's their live concert part 2. I can see the CD in my head. But anyway, it's been playing in my car for the last 2 weeks. And there's just such a... one of the lead singers keeps calling apartheid appetites.
We all tributaries on the great river of faith.
I love it so much. And then he calls, and then this is an interesting moment, is that he calls, and this is the bastardization of what happens in the post-apartheid moments when the DA messes up what Biko was actually talking about when he was talking about non-racialism. But the lead singer from Stimela is like, can I have a colored woman? Can I have a black woman? Can I have an Indian woman? And can I have a white woman? And we're gonna sing about appetite. And they all like get an opportunity to like speak their piece, right? And I think that like now we would read that with such suspicious eyes because of identity politics and the nonsense that we've imbued in non-racialism. Amen. But there was such a political clarity, you know, in the kind of work that was done there. And then like 2 songs before, they're singing, 'Cause I love you. Yeah. And again, just like this really like internationalist, open, you know.
We were traveling. They were being with other people. That was the thing. I think there's this conception of like South Africans who never got to run away as people who never got to experience like an international sense of being. That's the weirdest thing about it. We forget also that, hey man, the reason the Dutch East India Company came is the reason why everybody still comes here.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go anywhere else in the world without passing here. So the people have always been people who are international in thought process.
Yeah,
they're global in what, and they don't even know it half the time that they're global in thought process.
Yeah, we are incredibly. Incredibly. South Africa is such a thoughtful. I mean, we have our pitfalls.
But the fact that even just like in dance music space, you know, like how this place becomes a dance maker.
Yeah.
You know, like it has and what from people in the hood digging the music, not house heads in the clubs digging the situation. It's like the people on the streets built that situation. Yeah. And it's the same way I feel about this genre of music, and that's why like the music industry has a hard time, is because they don't know how to give it back to the people who actually created it, and that becomes the hard time. The brother moves on, goes on to play Rocking the Daisies, Opi Kopi, when the music's meant for the kids in the hood dealing with the shit we were dealing with, not having jobs, not having a place to be in South Africa, or being told you can reach all your dreams. Yeah.
Stimela was that.
Yeah, well, to tell you the truth, in my family, ours was Sankomota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Zwasha's family, theirs was Sakile.
Yeah. So each family had their own like...
Yeah, and it's based on what the mom and dad were into. My mom and dad were into the Sankomota were like... Yeah. That's why even when I got to sing with Tsepotsola, actually.
Amazing.
So the brother Muzon got to play as Sankomota with Tsepotsola and myself as lead vocals. We got a song recorded with Tsepotsola. That's
so cool. How have I not come across it?
Cause it's been on drives. It's where it's come out.
Do you mind?
It's come out like randomly, like on social media. We're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, we did that thing.
Yeah. The legend died. Maybe we should tell you that we recorded the song.
Lol.
Yeah, it's called "Don't Be Stupid," the name of the track. And what happened was my father-in-law was retiring. My father-in-law used to be a sniper for the ANC, head of police, bodyguard for Mbeki, bodyguard for Mandela. Yeah. Got arrested with Zuma in the KZN post-apartheid. Quite a wild man. Also was a heavyweight boxer.
Weren't they all?
Hey, don't mess with people. Don't mess with people's past, man. If being a heavyweight boxer from the hood is not a they all there. Nah, maybe played rugby, maybe, but no. This man was like really amazing, and he had retired from the police, and for his retirement party, they booked Tsepotsula.
Wow.
And the brother moves on to play at a beach resort out in the Eastern Cape. So we got to spend good 2 weeks with Pratsepo.
That's such a dream.
One night he was like, let's go record, my boys. And then he played producer for the night with whiskey and going, see, man, you gotta let the boys have fun. Just uptight.
Just uptight.
Yeah, just uptight. And then before the show, they couldn't even get him out of his hotel room. I had to send my wife to go speak to him.
Sir.
Yeah, she was the only one who could handle him because she deals with a lot of uncles.
Oh, that's such an excellent story.
Yeah.
When is your book coming out?
Hey.
So you can start to collate all these incredible stories.
I've been thinking about them because it's just like a lot has happened with this band.
Yeah.
And I'm the slightly older one.
Yeah.
So I'm the one stuck with it. I lost the rhythm section in Paris for 3 days. I didn't know what I was going to tell these kids' parents. I was freaked the hell out. 3 days.
Where did they go?
They said they went on the train and every station looked the same.
What do you mean?
So they kept traveling for 3 days.
Sorry. In the time of Google Maps.
No. Okay, look, it also was before we all started using our phones to travel around.
Okay.
I was the only one who actually had an app for Paris.
Okay.
A city app. The rest of them would be like, no, I'm getting over there. And those
Okay,
stations,
Kings.
those stations will do you in. Those,
No, but I was in Berlin and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
It'll freak you out. I'd rather walk. I'm afraid of the train system. Sometimes I'm standing outside the train going,
It's just, but it's also not economical to get an Uber. It's insane.
it's crazy.
It's insanity.
It's crazy. And also you forget how big these places are. Like when someone walks you from one side of Berlin to the other.
Yeah.
And they're just also Berlin looks like Gemston.
But with transport, with real transport.
No,
I want to shout out the transportation and
transportation system
is insane. Everything else is odd.
Yeah, if you want to piss off people in Berlin, just walk across the road when the robot's red. That's yeah, you want to see, it's like you kick someone's dog in the face.
Okay, quickly let's get to the next game.
Okay.
And then then I will free you to have a Monday.
What's the next game?
Okay, the next game is called Mangoba.
Okay.
Okay. And we have some Zoe called this a very unfair game. Spa thought it was a shady game. And we'll see what your thoughts and feelings are.
Let's go.
Of this game. So we have some incredible music on each side. That you have lent your incredible voice to, that you have been part of, that you have made, that you have pioneered. And we're going to figure out which one today you feel is Umangoba.
Okay, cool.
Okay? Right. So on this side, we have Party at Parktown Mansions.
Okay.
Party.
That's when you know the show's over.
It is.
And one more song. One more.
Party.
Yeah.
That's my sister's favorite song, actually. That's I just find her jamming to it all the time. Then I think a lesser known track with Coffee Flex.
Yeah.
Right?
Shabaka.
Is it?
Yeah.
Aim.
Yeah.
Tell me who's the Mangobs here and for what reason. And you can choose whatever reason for Mangobaness. Do you perform it better? Do you like it better?
I'd say Party because people actually don't know that there's 3 versions.
Of Party?
And because of how much we've had to play it, we've had to circulate the 3 versions.
Of all these.
Of all the songs. And the fun part is realizing y'all don't even know. And we learned
because I was just about to be like, I only know one.
We learned this from Thingamajig, from 340 Mo.
Oh, yeah?
Midnight Drive-In. It irritated them so much that we were like, we're never going to get through with the song. That's why you don't hear Shea no Maini as much.
Really?
Yeah, 'cause we're just like, no, bro. It's tiring now. You can sing it. Sing it to yourself.
But Party is so good.
Party's
At
easier.
the end.
'Cause Party's made for you singing with us. You know what I'm trying to say? So at least it's like, it plays into it. So it, like, that's what the nice thing about that songwriting.
Yeah.
Aim is great, but it was a tricky one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
a lot of Busim Hlongo was on Aim.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I figured out what to do there.
That's so interesting. It's so beautiful. It's such a good song. I
Thank
think
you.
we need to give that girl more attention.
True.
Okay. Then over here we have Itumeleng revisited with The Brother Moves On. And we have Umthandazo Makenge.
Ooh.
Tell me who's the Mangobs here.
It's a tough one. This is a good verses. I won't lie. This is a very good verses. I won't lie. Jesus Christ. You know, I'm gonna have to go with Mthandazo Makenge.
Yeah, that's a jam.
Yeah, and also because like I'm a fan of Tandi's music before I even knew Tandi. So being able to cover her song
Yeah.
with her,
Yes. And then co-creates the most incredible album.
yeah, like Mthandazo Makenge is one of those.
It's
epic.
such an iconic song.
And even when I listen to it now, I don't get bored.
Yeah. It's so layered, thoughtful, beautiful, incredible.
Nah, it holds it.
My only criticism is that we don't hear it enough live.
Wait, on live?
Yeah.
How?
What do you mean how?
We don't have a pianist.
So?
We tried to get Soleche as a pianist, and this last weekend at the chairman, it became very obvious that, listen, when you play with the pianist, play with the pianist. When you play with the horns, play with the horns. But you can't do both. Can't do both.
Okay, well, pianists. The Brother Moves On is ready for you.
No, there's enough bands with piano.
No, we need to hear the song more often.
Actually, to tell you the truth, you can hear the song on the 9th of November.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me what's happening on the 9th of
On
November.
the 9th of November, we realized how do we do 30 year celebration of South Africa in the UK and not do one in South Africa?
Dare.
So we decided that to the road to the Barbican on the 24th of November, we're going to do the 9th of November at the Market Theatre. We wanted to do a matinee show in the daytime because we have kids now. Some of them hate our music. Some of them really hate our music. Like, on the day when I was going to the Linda Auditorium, I said to my daughter, I got a ticket for you. She's like, why?
Why?
And then just before I left, she was like, Daddy, did I have to? You know I don't like your music. Do I have to go?
Children aren't meant to humble you. That's the whole
straight up.
thing.
Also, they're meant to make you realize that, like, it's what your granny used to say, you know, like when you're going, you'll be like, well, never gonna back on Sakula. Sakula, never gonna back. Yeah, children savings. It's in the same world of like reminding you ain't shit, you won't die. No one cares about your Grammy. It's just a doorstop.
Just shut the fuck up.
It's just a doorstop, bruv.
I love that. She's the cutest.
Nah,
she's
she
so,
holds it down.
and she's precocious and she's sharp and she, my favorite kind of child.
No, she said to her mom, she said to me, Daddy, you know, when I'm older, I'm going to build you a mansion in my backyard.
Love her.
I was like, what?
The clarity.
That's a black dad's dream. That's all a black dad wants. Tell me what you want.
That's such clarity.
Yeah, and then her mom was like, what about me? She's like, you can choose if he wants you there. Like, you know how to speak to a black dad.
I guess, if you must. Okay. Mzwandile.
Yep.
And Till the Freedom Comes Home, which I think, again, is another one that doesn't get the flowers.
Gotta give it to Mzwandile.
Mzwandile, that's your king?
Many reasons. One, the guy who did the cover, his name is Mzwandile Buthelezi.
Amazing.
Shabaka was named Mzwandile by Louis Mohole.
Wow. That's lineage.
I'm sitting there and he's playing it. And like the lyrics, I didn't have to think. They just practically wrote themselves.
Yeah.
So even like the toughest nights when my throat's messed, we've been going for how many nights?
Yeah.
This song just like comes out because it's just like, it's my voice.
So good.
Singing to him in the voice of Louis telling him, Gutawandile boy. Yeah.
Yo.
You know?
It's such a Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is that.
No, I can't.
And then every single performance on YouTube of Mzwandile is iconic.
Pow, this is, if there was a title track to the band, it's Mzwandile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Also, though, Till the Freedom Comes, I don't know, you know, the new album. Some of the songs, they're in English. Everyone. And it's Toliko. So where the Sintu got Tolikad, the blacks from the Jaws went. Okay,
Okay. I guess.
Till the Freedom.
Till the freedom comes on.
Abu Nkululeko. Tata nathi Nkululeko. Like, yes. And you play like, oh, Leo, okay.
Okay, final. Bayakala. Right? Kiyabereka.
It's so weird. I'll go with Bayakala.
Oh no, this is my king.
No, I love Kiyabereka, but it kind of like represents mine and my cousin's relationship, where I've had to sing to his songs, and sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Why you make me sing like this?
Yeah.
And then only like years later, while I'm singing the song, I'm like, wow, this is genius. I'm cheering, and I'm like, I hate you. I should have really learned how to play guitar. Wouldn't be stuck with you.
Okay, now we're doing a final.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So we have Bayakala.
Yep.
We have Mzwandile.
Okay, cool.
We have Umthandazo Wamagenge.
Cool.
I'll keep it chat. And we have Party in this party. Mzwandile. Tell me more about the entire creation of work that's not necessarily just for a band.
Yes.
But is like connected to a body of work that like is not necessarily your own, but you are both in collectives, but you're also an individual actor, but you're a, you know, performance artist.
I'm finding it so hard to make sense of it.
Yeah.
I created the moniker Hymnself with that in mind. Mm-hmm. Because also I had a fairy reading because I'm such a hippie. And the the character that came up was himself, the ram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell the queens what Hymnself the Ram.
Himself is self-assured. He knows what he's here for. Most of what he does is based on that spiritual calling.
Yeah.
But also then at the same time now in the band space, I don't want to go on a solo.
Yeah.
I don't like the language of that idiom as well. But at the same time, I also don't want to form a new band. But I'm writing work that's not dealing with bands or solos or and that's why I'm also thinking like, okay, with the skill set I have, why haven't I written a play? So this weekend I've just started thinking that maybe Hymnself plays out. Yes, it's an album you can one day have, but it's part of a musical, a one-man musical. Yeah. Just because I'm just, I'm trying to figure out where it lives, how it lives, and so that I can breathe in it as well. So, and the offer from the music scene, especially the European music scene, is like, solo album. So we can have you touring in Europe, because then it's one flight, one visa, one of everything. And I'm like, yeah, and it's one African stuck in Europe.
Yes.
Yeah, without his kid, without his wife. No thanks. So I'm just trying to make it make sense. And also, I'm realizing that I'm a migrant laborer when I'm in Europe. And trying to figure out how that makes sense politically for me.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's where I'm trying to get some sense of like, okay, cool. I get it. I get the work I'm supposed to do in that context. But like, how does it work for my 8-year-old?
Yeah.
How does it work for my family?
Yeah.
Do we come back? Do we stay there? And also, I've never been separated from this land. Like, it feeds me.
That's
everything.
real.
Yeah. So like being in Europe, even for like 5, 6, 7 days, you start to feel it.
It itches. It's literally in the.
Yeah.
It's the lack of sun. Firstly, you start to look ashy, And then for me, it was just like such cognitive dissonance with like, just being around too many white people really genuinely stresses me out. I'm not even joking. It's like, to me, danger, Ghafar. Like the entire time. So Europe, for me, was so stressful. Like, so stressful. And to the point where I just started talking Zulu to random strangers.
That's what starts that. And it's weird. It's when you speak to someone from the UK, they adamantly force you to speak Zulu. And you're like...
What's your problem?
Why shut down?
What's going on? What's your issue?
Why you shouting? You're like, oh yeah, you miss Ubuntu.
Ubuntu for the people.
Ubuntu. You miss Sawubona.
Sawubona.
And it's so weird. It's exactly that though. It's like there's a niceness to being from here and being of here.
Yes.
People here greet. And they don't greet you.
And the displacement in Europe, like particularly for black and people of color, is so severe.
It's intense.
It's so intense. Severe.
You see it when you go. There's a residency called Solitude in Germany, and at the same time it's in Stuttgart. So I was in Stuttgart at another residency, and the guys from Solitude used to come down every 2 weeks. They look like black people who are being forced to go to an art refugee camp.
My
It's like art refugees. That's who we are. It's just fucking art refugees. Oh, you can draw. Okay. Come take a visa. How long? Let's see how well you draw. Apply from home. 3 months from home.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
No, but that's the way
I just would never move to Europe. I would rather the disgustingness of America, because there's something about a cultural paradigm that sorts it out.
No.
Yeah, Europe is so awful for the blacks.
If we were a class, America's that kid. You know, the kid at the
Don't
back.
worry, I know. They are the worst. But there's something clarifying about them knowing they're the worst.
People who put waffles with chicken. Just as a thing. If you're going to eat your chicken with your waffle.
Look, I'm aware.
And I hope Americans know we are judging.
All the time. Every single time.
I haven't looked at the camera the whole time. I'm looking at you.
You are being judged.
Chicken with the waffles. Come on, man. It's a dessert with a main.
My gran used to do that though.
Exactly, because she thought it was fucking cute,
and she thought it was efficient.
Straight up.
Because she always used to say, "Well, it's going to the same place." Like, I don't understand.
People like it. That's what I had a digs mate who learned how to cook. I was learning how to cook. I came home one day and I put the rice, the chicken, the beef, the everything in one pot. And he's like, but it goes to the same place. It's one pot,
exactly.
Same place.
Real.
I'm like, okay.
Not quite.
Not quite science.
Okay, final.
Yeah.
This section is called This, That's, and Why.
Okay.
Rapid fire questions. Okay. We've kind of discussed this already, but, you know.
Go ahead.
Okay, solo collective.
Neither exist.
King, no reason to be existential.
Come on.
Okay.
I don't believe in binaries.
My bad. Curation or performance, then this game is nonsense to you.
Creation or performance? Always performance.
Always performance?
Always.
Interesting.
Always performance. Curation is fucking doofy.
Yeah.
Like, it's really lovely to curate stuff. Curation is also about the politics of letting people onto stage. You don't only let onto stage letting ideas.
Yeah.
That don't get onto stage. But it's administrative politics. Performance still goes to the essence of what is real.
Johannesburg crowd or international crowd?
Johannesburg crowd is the best crowd in the world.
In the world.
I watched Kings of Leon cry after...
Everyone cries.
After 7 encores.
Everyone cries.
When they started Milk. Also, cry. You guys know my first song.
Everyone cries. Yep. Like, what's his name? Six Black was like, oh my God, I'm going to be back again.
Exactly.
And then like everyone is just like, oh my God, thank you. Basta didn't want to leave.
Like, seriously.
Jill Scott was weeping. Dude. Like, everyone is always just like,
but also
Maxwell was weeping when he was here.
Best people in the world.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, it's like, it's something else. You don't perform for Joburg audiences. You're all there together. There's so much excitement in the room.
Yeah.
So much so that like, you think you know me, I can't perform it because as soon as I start, you think you know me? The whole room goes like, oh well, you guys know it's not like it has different notes. Can't freaking like man.
This was interesting also at the Linda, is that I was sitting right in front a row of just blacks. And so you start, you think you know, and then the whites are visibly like, ugh. Oh, yeah. And then the blacks are singing along. And I was like, yes, let's go.
Talking back to power, bro. We don't get to do it much. Like, I don't think we get to enjoy it much. But that was the nicest thing about the Linda. The Linda felt like we were all there to acknowledge that our predecessors should have been there. That was the nicest part about it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being black and occupying space. Yeah. You're not occupying space just for you alone. You're occupying space for time.
Yes.
And you're like, you being there is such a win for the oppressed people.
Yeah.
You know? And that's why it's important then to be a doorstop. Like, don't be there to just be there.
Yeah.
Stop the door so 7 more can go through.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell me quickly about Market Theatre and what you guys are going to be doing this weekend.
Market Theatre is going to be amazing because we're also featuring with 2 brothers and a sister who, like, we all also not supposed to be alive and still playing music and doing what we're doing. Malcolm Gianni and Dumi Mokhorosi and Zu from Zuko Collective.
Amazing.
Weirdly enough, the 4 of us with Ayanda Zalegile were in a band called Brown Baby Music. For a short while, we thought we would start in a band. So this is kind of like a bit of a Brown Baby Music reincarnation night, but with the rest of the brother. But also, the brother's in such a really cool space in that for the first time we're writing an album because it wants to be written, you know? So it's guiding it. It's changing the energy in the band. So you'll see the beginning of the set will be the brother set, this new one. And the end will be going back to then what we're saying as an idea to the creative. But it's prayers.
Yeah.
It's all prayers.
That's the point. The prayers.
All prayers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we're moving back to. Is it's like we're a band that prays.
Yeah.
We're a band that... And it was the one thing. So out of the Linda Auditorium, the weirdest thing is Sipho Hot Sticks Mabuza. We come out of the stage. I'm like, yo, can I buy you a drink? He's like, what? Can I buy you a drink, man?
I saw him and he was like buzzing. He was so happy.
So it's the weirdest thing because God made the weekend about us because on the Sunday I did Delicious Fest as Lucky Dube. And he's backstage and he's like, see, should we go get some water for our throats? Let's go warm up. And then he played me the most beautiful song. And he was like, this was my mom's favorite song. And he played it on horn. And it was this amazing, like, moment because I was like, wait a minute. You've been doing what I do for so long. You know, like turning black memories into a communal, universal, memorial space with such ease. Even when he did that, it was like, that's so beautiful. He's like, I should record it with a band, eh? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see what he's into. I'm like, yeah.
With you?
I'm not going to say it. You say it. You say it. No, you say it first. But it's kind of, you know, you always wonder, was it your dream to do this thing? Because in everything in life, you know, when they used to ask you as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I fucking knew I was going to be a singer. And I didn't know what else I wanted to be. So, like, I always say to everyone, I've got 10 more years left on the stage. Because I want to go figure out what I wanted to be as well.
Yeah.
Like, I've done my job, and I've still got 10 more years of doing my job, of what I am now. But it's also just nice to be free as a black person.
Yeah.
Like, seeing Kelly's with a farm, cooking, doing other things. That's what freedom's about. Freedom wasn't about chasing one dream.
Yeah.
You know, and getting to the top of that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to stop the door for many others to be able to chase that particular dream. But, like, the Eastern Cape is calling.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sure.
With comfort. I've lived here how many years? 40 years I've been with you guys. Damn it, man.
It's time to go.
Y'all, I wore tights for y'all, dresses for y'all. I did things for y'all. Now it's time. I'm really feeling like, it's also just like, it's not, I don't believe there is an end, but I believe things do change. You You know what I'm saying? And to tell you the truth, I miss small rooms with the brother moves on and an audience. And we're now so big that it's about big rooms, but we can't make those big rooms sometimes as small as we need them to be. So then it's time for small things again to start happening.
Sure.
Which is why I'm enjoying the new music, because it's about the smallness of things. Not the bigness. I think for a long time we wanted to be playing big jazz festivals all around the world. Now that it's happening, we're like, I just want a small room.
I just want a small room.
I just want a small
Do you know,
room
this
for
is so
people.
interesting. I was interviewing Mary Sabanda recently, and she was saying that her next series of artistic work is about to be small. She was like, I've done the bigness. Sophie, the purple has governed, right? And she has done the most incredible stuff with the red as well. And now she's gone back to like yellow and made really interesting, intricate statues that you have to like pay attention. And she was talking about like the need for attention again, right? And I think there's kind of parallels to what you're saying.
Very much so.
You know? And also I think there's something about the sincerity of prayer that's actually quite small.
Yep.
And then the manifestation is big.
It's huge.
But
it
the
goes back
prayer
to
is small.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. It's also, I believe, the song. So like we play big songs. If you hear the brother, they're huge. And the way my other music is going is very like, it's small. It's one voice with one instrument, or it's not huge. It's not looking for big spaces. But it's taking you back to the fact that you listen to it for its simplicity, you know? And it was Columbia University head of music came to watch us at the Orbit. And he came backstage, he's like, I just don't understand why they keep listening to such difficult music. And I wish I could tell him. I only realized it years ago. I said, no, they're schooled in that.
Yeah.
From the beginning of time, Malo Way wasn't about.
Yes.
You know, it was always about secret messages, things being bombed when you go bombed, la la la, you know, just small things that kind of like. And that's my thing about it. It's just like the South African audience don't realize how highly intelligent they are.
We are one of the best, most clearest, thoughtful, sophisticated audiences in the world. And we've been primed that way.
Yes. But here's weirdly enough, by the culture, not even by broadcasters.
Yeah.
Not by the industry.
Yeah.
Not by, it's the weirdest organic belief and of something that is older than these ways of being mechanized.
And we keep rejecting them, which is really interesting to me as a arts historian. Like, it's interesting that the constant rejection of
They will
linearity.
They'll throw the money at us. They'll tell us
Yeah.
we're all piano, and then we'll be like, they can't even tell the difference of why we like Kabza. And
Yes.
like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm trying to say is because Kabza is talking to something in our essential, in our essence, in our beginnings, in our prayers. You know what I'm saying? He's really more tied to the stuff that's going. It's a prayer from blackness to blackness, and that's one of those things that the apartheid government couldn't defeat it.
At all.
Yeah, and to this day now, capitalism's having a hard time
A hard time.
trying to put it
Yeah.
down.
I just wrote an essay for Africa as a Country on liberalism. And because I think more of us need to understand what this thing is. We need to name it so that we can defeat it. Anyway,
Mills.
but yeah.
Moses' wife.
Yeah.
Moses' wife.
But it's really important to then think about the underside of liberalism, what nonsense it is as a principle. And later on in the article, I talk about cultural workers, and I think about the Medu Arts Collective. And this is what South Africa comes from, right? That moment between 1977 to 1987, South Africans opened up, you know, a new idiom for, you know, and that's why I think of us as cultural workers, right? Like there's something political about being cultural workers and being primed in that way that makes us political prayer points, you know? And it's just the most incredible.
Embodying again.
Yeah.
It goes into that thing. I think that's the beauty. And it's the weirdest thing I hear from my 7-year-old. My 7-year-old says to me, no, Daddy, you're not going to die. You're going to always be in and around me. I understand that now. Because she was like, I'm getting sad, Daddy, because I get less sad when people die. And that's because she's had to deal with so much death.
Yeah.
By the age of 6, she's gone through COVID death. Shout out to Shawnee, shout out to my brother. People who like passed away, and she's learned the pain of death. And she's worried that she doesn't cry enough. But at the very same time, she also knows it's because ours is a circular reality.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, my dad didn't die when I was 10. He physically died. But I've now got songs that are out on Impulse Records. That same son that I said I hated, going around and around and around. You know? The first time I even smelled marijuana, it's a Lucky Dube song in the back of my dad pushing me out of the cot.
Yeah.
So my dad's around me. It's not so obvious. Some people have dads who are here who can't even be around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of being people from here. There's a mysticism to this land that still stays foreign to us, but it's a Kwanzaa without knowing. And like, it's really nice to have a God that's not so authoritarian.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Siyabonga Mthembu, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Monday.
Hater! Thank you so much for watching the Know It Alls podcast. Thank you so much for your patience on our little break. We are going to see you sometime on the internet. And make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe. That really helps. Okay? If you want to keep seeing us on your internet. Thank you.